Hey guys, we're getting closer to 60,000 subscribers here on Bears Now, just 732 away. And as promised, once we cross 60,000, we will do a live fan-led mock draft just with you guys. Whenever we cross 60K, next Tuesday live show, boom, when we go live, we will do a fan-led mock draft where you guys get to make the pick. So subscribe, and once we get there, we'll make it happen here on Bears Now. Chicago Bears Now is presented by Manscaped. I, for one, love their new beard trimming product. It's called the Beard Hedger. I will tell you more about it later on in the show. You can get 20% off plus free shipping with promo code BEARS20 when you go to manscaped.com. That link and promo code are in the description and the comments of this video. All right, well, another week means another mock draft here on Chicago Bears Now. So that is what we're doing. Last week we didn't do any trades. We stayed at number one, and I kind of got bored, so I said, we're bringing back the trade machine today. This mock draft will have trades. Now, just to kind of remind you guys where I'm at with what the Bears' biggest needs are. 5 categories, top 2 categories, multiple positions. Offensive line, I think all 3 spots could use some help. Tackle, center, guard. Defensive line, he needs help at defensive tackle and edge. Wide receiver, linebacker, and cornerback, your next needs there. You could lump wide receiver with the top 2 need as well. Definitely a drop-off after O-line, D-line, and receiver, but could certainly upgrade at those other 2 positions as well. So we are trading, which means we're obviously trading down from number 1. Trading down with the Houston Texans. I did a simple trade the number 1 pick for 2 and 12, and the trade machine accepted. I actually cheated not in favor of the Bears. So on Pro Football Network's Draft Simulator, which is the one we've been using and used today, the Texans offered me 2, 12, and more, and I said, that's too unrealistic. I'll just take 2 and 12, and we'll go from there. And since the rumors of a double trade down have been circulating, I said, why not? Let's do it on this mock. So I'm trading down again. I trade from 2 to 4, pick up a 2024 first-round pick from Indy, and then also a third-round pick this year. Indianapolis presumably goes up and gets their quarterback. In fact, I think they drafted C.J. Stroud, and then Houston took Bryce Young, number 1. Jalen Carter went number 3, which means at number 4, I settle on Will Anderson Jr. for the second mock in a row. But hey, last time I took him number 1 overall, I think that's the dream, right? If the Bears can get down to number 4 and still get Will Anderson or Jalen Carter, that is a preferable outcome. The production speaks for itself. There's people out there who say, he's a little too light for a 4-3 defensive end. If you can't work around that, I don't think you're doing a good enough job as a coach. I think the talent's there. The production's there. He's a very safe pick. Like I said, Jalen Carter went number 3 in this mock, so the decision was kind of made for me. Obviously, the Carter-Anderson debates have been ongoing, and that will continue. But number 4 overall pick in this mock, first pick for the Bears, I get Will Anderson Jr., the edge out of Alabama. Get me a premium pass rusher. I stick in the trenches on that defensive line with the 12th pick that I picked up from Houston. Bryan Bresee, the defensive tackle out of Clemson, who could go really anywhere from probably 7 to 15, depending on how the combine and some testing goes. But Bryan Bresee, who wasn't the most productive college player, but really good run stopper and takes on some blockers. Only had 15 total tackles, but he missed some time. But again, he takes on a lot of blockers. 3.5 sacks with some pass rushing ability. He's certainly not the talent Jalen Carter is, but I think at the 12th overall pick, pretty good value. He swatted a couple passes as well. You look at this defensive line and what the Bears are sitting with, you certainly need to get better there. And adding a combination of a Will Anderson and a Bryan Bresee and presumably someone in free agency, maybe a Daron Payne or someone like that, that would improve your defensive line quite a bit. So I think early on here, trading down has benefited the Bears in this mock draft as you get the Anderson-Bresee combo on that defensive line. So Anderson, the 4th overall pick, Bresee, the 12th overall pick. Let me know what you guys think. Which is the better selection for the Chicago Bears? Do you like Anderson at number 4? Type 4 if you do, or do you think the value of Bresee at 12 is better? If you do, type 12. Let me know which pick is better, 4 for Anderson or 12 for Bresee. Appreciate Manscaped for sponsoring today's show. And like I said at the top, they launched a brand new beard trimming product. It is called the Beard Hedger. And you can get the Beard Hedger Pro Kit from Manscaped right now, because if you're tired of using multiple products to maintain your beard, this kit from Manscaped is going to change your life. It's the complete beard maintenance kit that has everything you need for the modern man on the go. From trimming to treatment, this kit has it all. This kit includes the Beard Hedger, AC adapter and USB-C cable, beard shampoo, beard conditioner, beard oil, beard balm, and a travel bag. Plus, as a special bonus, you'll also receive a free beard accessory pack with a beard brush, beard comb, and beard scissors. The Beard Hedger was designed with a unique cutting angle to have its built-in comb lift flat-lying hairs for smooth, single-stroke trimming. And for a limited time, you can get 20% off with promo code BEARS20 when you go to manscaped.com. My favorite thing about the Beard Hedger is you don't have to get all these separate attachments for different length of trimming that you want. It's on a rotator, 20 different levels of how much you want to trim it down. If you want a full trim, if you want kind of a light trim, you just rotate it, boom, you settle on one you like, you get all these products, the travel kit, you're good to go. It all comes in just this one little box right here. It's all going to fit in here. Other products, it's like you need an extra bag for all the attachments. It's just a mess. Manscaped.com, promo code BEARS20, and it's waterproof as well, guys. You can trim in the shower if you choose to do that. Manscaped.com, promo code BEARS20, link and code in the description and the comments. All right, let's keep this rolling. 2 players at a time here. Drew Sanders, round 2, number 55 overall, and then Darnell Wright, round 3, number 64. We'll talk about Drew Sanders a little bit first here, as he had 103 tackles, transferred from Alabama to Arkansas this year, and really took off. 103 tackles, 13.5 TFLs, 9.5 sacks, 5 pass breakups, 1 interception. Before we talk about Darnell Wright, hear me out here, and I know I'm going to get yelled at in the comments, so just let me explain. Drew Sanders is kind of like Micah Parsons light. Light. Don't destroy me. This is a second-round talent. I'm just saying he can play linebacker. He can play edge. He's 6'5", 240. He's got the frame to put his hand in the dirt and rush the passer as well. I think he can be that type of versatile defender for a team. If he's there in the middle of the second round like this, I think the value's pretty good. Plus, you pair him with Jack Sanborn, and you're good to go. Darnell Wright, who we mentioned as well, first pick of the third round, number 64 overall, the offensive tackle out of Tennessee. What I like about Darnell Wright is he has experience playing both left and right tackle. So you bring him in there, and then you decide, okay, Braxton Jones, Darnell Wright, we'll kind of figure out who plays left and who plays right. And if you don't want to move Braxton Jones, just put Darnell Wright at right tackle. That's perfectly fine. Now, he's a little bit heavier at 335 pounds than what Ryan Poles typically likes in his linemen, but we saw Larry Borum and Tevin Jenkins lose some weight, so they could put him in that program, get him down to probably about 320 or so. If you can't tell, the Bears need to fix the trenches, and that's what I'm focusing on here with 3 of the 4 picks directly impacting the trenches. And like I said, Drew Sanders, a guy who can come off the edge as well. I think that's got to be an area of emphasis for Chicago this offseason. Now, what do you think is the bigger weakness right now? Do you think it's the offensive line, or do you think it's the defensive line? Sounds crazy, but it's probably the defensive line. At least on the O-line, you have probably 1 or 2 starters. I don't know if you have a single starter right now. Maybe Justin Jones on the D-line, type OL for offensive line or DL for defensive line. One more trade here as the Bears trade down again. Didn't love the board when I was at 79. There wasn't a receiver I liked at that value. There wasn't a corner or another trenches player, so I said, okay, I'll take this trade. The Chiefs offer me 94 and 131, so I moved down 15 spots in the third round, pick up a 4th. They take that third-round pick. And then in the third round at number 94 overall, a name that's starting to circulate a little bit, Xavier Hutchinson, the receiver out of Iowa State, who really had a tremendous year. Now, he has an occasional drop problem, but he made a lot of circus catches as well, and the production was outstanding for an Iowa State offense that really struggled. So for him to have 107 catches and over 1,100 yards and 6 touchdowns, pretty impressive for Hutchinson. I've seen a couple of draft experts say that they think he could rise into round 2. I'll be curious to see how he performs at the Combine. 6'3", about 210 pounds, so I like the physicality. He's quick at the line of scrimmage as well, pretty good release. tests. So the testing should be interesting out there in Indianapolis. But again, you need more weapons, right? He's not probably a number one. You never know. Sometimes you get guys in the middle rounds and they become that type of player. But you bring him in here, he can compete for playing time with guys like Mooney, Claypool, St. Brown, Velus Jones, and you beef up that wide receiver unit because that's certainly an area you got to get better at. All right, round 4 we go. It's Luke Weipler, the center out of Ohio State. I've been pretty consistent in these mocks. Somewhere in the 3rd, 4th round, I usually draft a center. That's where the value is in this draft. I think he could come in and compete for a starting role. Luke Schoonmaker, the tight end out of Michigan, who really came on the second half of this year. The Wolverines had some injuries at the tight end spot, and he stepped up and played nicely. 35 grabs, 418 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Pretty decent blocker, 6'5", 250. What's that, Producer Jack? He also dealt with some injuries as well, but when he was out there, did some pretty good things. And I think Xavier Hutchinson and Luke Schoonmaker are some middle-round sleepers potentially, some guys to monitor over the next couple of months that could be moving up on draft boards. I think they could come in and compete for playing time right away. Now, who is your favorite sleeper in this year's draft? Who's someone that's under the radar? He's not going to be a top 50 pick or something like that, but that you think could come in and compete and give you some snaps right away. Let me know who that player is for you. Round 4, pick number 132, one of 3 straight selections here. KJ Henry, the edge out of Clemson, who decent production, 50 tackles, 9 tackles for loss, 3.5 sacks. Really good production as in terms of swatting the ball. 9 pass breakups as a guy who got his hand on a lot of passes. Can drop into coverage on occasion as well. Has that athleticism. I think is a guy who could, come in with a guy like Dominique Robinson and Travis Gibson, be a rotation edge rusher for this football team. Round 4, pick number 133, Chase Brown, the Illinois running back that I know a lot of you guys love. Really productive for the Fighting Illini in the Big Ten this year. 1,643 yards, 10 touchdowns. Decent pass catcher, although that's not really his game. 240 yards and 3 touchdowns in that regard. I mean, he literally carried Illinois' offense this year. I don't have a clue what the Bears are going to do at running back. I mean, obviously, Khalil Herbert's going to be a big part of it next year. Is Treston Ebner a guy who gets real touches next year? I was not impressed with what he did as a rookie. David Montgomery, is he back? Do you let him go? Do you go after a Saquon Barkley or a Josh Jacobs, or do you just let Monty go and draft a guy in the middle rounds to pair with Herbert? That could certainly be an option, but I will be very curious to see how Ryan Poles handles the running back position this offseason. Jordan McFadden, round 5, pick number 155. I don't love his measurables, but a lot of experience at Clemson. He's only about 6'2", which for a tackle isn't very tall. But maybe he kicks inside, a lot of playing time there. I think is a swing tackle guard hybrid type in round 5 could be decent value. A guy that could compete with someone like Larry Borum, for example. And then round 7, pick number 197. Some of you locals could know this name. Sidney Brown, the safety out of Illinois. Round 7, pick number 197. 6 interceptions this year. Kind of was off the grid and then goes back for his 5th season. 7 breakups, 6 picks, 3.5 tackles for loss. Illinois had a lot of good players on that defense, and Brown was certainly a part of it. If he can play special teams, bring him in here, start to develop him. Maybe down the road he can be a contributor in your secondary. So there you go. Grade this Bears mock draft A, B, C, D, or F. We'll cycle back through the picks here in a second, but off the cuff, give me a grade, and then we'll read through these here, and if you're like, I can't remember it all, okay, here you go. Then you can give me a grade at the end here. Will Anderson, number 4 overall pick after trading down twice. Remember with this mock, I'm getting a future first-round pick from Indianapolis as well. Bryan Bresee, 12th pick from Clemson. Drew Sanders, the Arkansas linebacker there in round 2. I get Tennessee tackle Darnell Wright in the 3rd round, as well as Iowa State Xavier Hutchinson, the wide receiver there. Trio 4th-round picks here, actually a quad of them. Luke Weipler, the Ohio State center. Luke Schoonmaker, the Michigan tight end. And then KJ Henry, the edge out of Clemson. Illinois running back Chase Brown to round out the 4th round. And then Clemson tackle Jordan McFadden and Illinois safety Sidney Brown there in the 7th round. So there you have it. Drop a letter grade if you haven't already. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. Remember, 60K subs. That means we're doing a live fan-led mock draft. So if you are interested in that, subscribe. We, of course, publish other daily videos here on the channel as well. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. I'm Harrison Graham. We'll see you next time here at Bears Now.